Right, okay. I'd like to talk about numbers now. If you've read any of protheory.com at all, you'll know that I'm really interested in numbers, but I'm not interested in numbers in the equation sense particularly. I'm more interested in explaining that numbers are just repeated combinations of the same three fundamental amounts, okay? This is the argument I've used to solve the Riemann hypothesis, Bircham-Swinton-Dye conjecture, Poincare conjecture, and everything else to do with numbers. All the Millennium problems, physics, all mathematics, Goldbach conjecture, twin primes conjecture, everything else. It's about time I said this on video, okay? Right, so let's say you've got numbers, right? You've got 1, you've got 2, which is 2 ones. You've got, the thing with numbers is, the fundamental thing is, all numbers symbolise either 1, more or less than 1, as in negative numbers, which is the opposite of positive numbers, as in 1, 2, 3, or minus 1, 2, 3, whatever. Or 0, which is neutral, okay? So you've got a positive, a negative, and a neutral potential within all numbers. Surprise, surprise, you know? Let's say I invented the number 1, and someone says, okay, what about 2 then? I say, right, that's 2 ones. What's the opposite of 2 then? Minus 2? What's neutral for 2 then? And minus 2, we know, because it's in between the minus 2 and the positive 2, you see? And this, what happened is, basically, numbers were invented, you see, and put down on paper, and people started adding them up and combining them, saying, well, let's add 7 to 3. What does that make then, you know? And then, alright then, so let's go forwards and forwards and forwards. How far can numbers go, you know? Is there a pattern between numbers? Is there a pattern within all numbers? What are numbers anyway? What is mathematics? What we came to call mathematics, you see? But I think what people have forgotten, almost certainly really, is that numbers symbolise either 1 more or less than 1 or nothing, neutral. It doesn't matter if I'm talking about 10 billion, 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 or the number 1 or no. There's still the opposite to that, plus neutral, potentially, and in pure theory. I think this has become obscure, really. It's become further and further into higher mathematics and stuff. I'm not saying it's not an interesting subject, I'm saying that it's not a fundamental answer to the universe. It's too specific, that's the thing, you see, with numbers. And we're just repeating these combinations over and over and over and over and over again. I could add up whatever I liked out of these 3 fundamental potentials, more or less than 1, plus neutral, okay? And 1 obviously, but I could add them up as much as I wanted into whatever enormous, massive combination I like. And I could say, oh, well, if we add such and such number to this number and that number and that number, we get this pattern, that pattern. It repeats for so long, and then it changes, and then it changes this, and then there's another rule that comes in. We've got these fancy symbols and equations for all these numbers and all these rules and patterns within them. But the thing is, we've forgotten that they're based on 3 potentials still. No matter how large or small we go numbers, they're still based on 3 potentials. If you think you can prove me wrong, then you can try and prove me wrong, and I'll say the opposite plus neutral, which is annoying. I know, as I've said on all my videos, pretty much, it is an annoying concept, but this is what we forget about numbers, you see. We're just repeating the same combinations over and over and over and over again. And then people are giving me equations saying, like I got a comment on the Riemann hypothesis video that I made, saying, oh, basically saying you're an idiot, you need to solve this equation singularly. So I wrote back and said, okay, what about the opposite plus neutral? If you really think I'm an idiot, please read my website, protheory.com, Riemann hypothesis essay. Read all the other physics answers that I've answered on there, and all the rest of the Millennium problems, the Goldbach conjecture as well, and the twin primes conjecture answers, and then call me an idiot. And to be honest, this person hasn't replied back, and this is about a week ago. It could be for a different reason, but I'd like to hear what they've got to say, I really would. Because, I mean, numbers are simple. And when it's just repeating the same fundamental units, that's what it is. There's nothing particularly different in theoretical potential from an enormous number, or a tiny number, so to speak. They've still got the same 3 potentials as such, you see. More or less than 1, 1 or 0, which is neutral, 0, nothing, so to speak. And also, interesting point, you'll notice, the larger we get, let's say take 1 million, okay, 6 noughts. A number so large, why has it only got a 1 and the rest are noughts, which is nothing? So we're talking about a single thing and a load of nothing. You see what I'm saying? Right? let's say we take 200,000 billion billion billion. Imagine how many noughts are on the end of that. But they're still noughts, aren't they? They're still zeros, symbolic of nothing. The higher up we go, the more zeros we get, the more of nothing. Okay? And every single number that we can invent, no matter how large or how small, can still be reduced back into the three fundamental amounts. You see what I mean? And that's the key to understanding numbers, basically. If you want to read more about numbers, I've explained it quite well in text, I like to think anyway, on my Riemann hypothesis essay on protheory.com. And basically, like I say, numbers are just symbolised and repeated, interacting with each other and stuff, all these different combinations, but they're still the same fundamental potentials. That's really the key to understanding numbers. I'm going to make some more videos about this as I get the idea more clear in my mind, really. Learn how to come across on camera more naturally than what I am doing now. I mean, this is real me, really. I mean, every video I make seems to be more and more real, hopefully. And I'll keep trying to explain this more clearly as the idea forms in my head better, like I say. So this is just a quick introduction to the basic formulation of mathematics and what numbers are, how numbers are created, and where we're going wrong with numbers, basically. Okay?